Hello all you genius moms, my name is Greg Ryder and I'm the CEO and founder of Children's Edutainment Network and actually part of the vision of this whole Genius Moms Network. So I'm proud to be a part of this and I want to give you a nugget of wisdom that I believe can really help you in your parenting and with your children. I'm very passionate about kids. I happen to have 5. My oldest is 34 and my youngest is 17, soon to be 18, and I have been married 26 years. So I can tell you I've made a lot of mistakes parenting, and if there was one bit of advice that I wish I would have got as a parent when I was young, it would be this one thing. And first of all, it starts out with habit. And one of my favorite sayings is small things done consistently over long periods of time always produce results, positive results. And what I want to share with you today is what I believe to be the biggest, greatest, most valuable asset you could give your children in the areas of financial literacy and financial independence. And it all starts with doing a very simple thing that I want to spell out for you here in a minute, and doing it habitually, starting when they're 4, when they're 5, when they're 6, starting them really, really young. So here's what we're going to do. It's called the 70-10-10-10. Okay. So what is the 70-10-10-10? Okay, it involves, for your kids, you got to make this fun. Now if you can figure out what those are, you're doing better than me. So those are jars. Okay, so those are jars. Oh, I'm missing a jar. So the idea is every single time your child is given money, whether they earn it or it's a Christmas gift or a birthday gift, every single time they get money, you're going to take and you're going to get 4 jars, and you're going to put 70%. And again, you can change this rule, and this is really a good rule for adults as well. But 70% goes in here, and that's like the money that they live on. They get to spend, they get to use. Then you put 10% in another jar, 10% in another jar, and 10% in another jar. So this one is their tithe or their gift. And I really believe that if you teach children the law of sowing and reaping and tithing, whether you have a faith that believes that or not, I believe sowing and reaping absolutely works. And so we want to teach our children to give. So 10% goes in the jar, that's their giving jar. And whether that's going to go to some charity or some nonprofit or some homeless person on the street, whatever you want to help teach your children to do. But 10% goes into the gifting and the tithing jar. 10% goes into the savings jar. You got to teach the children to save. They've got to have that savings account. They've got to understand to save. Our society today, and I'm guilty of it as well, I didn't teach my kids to save. I didn't do this. And I wish that somebody would have explained this principle to me when I was younger, because I think this changes their life forever. The third jar, and the very important jar, is we're going to have the investment jar. That 10% is going to go to an invest. Now again, as a child puts in 10 cents out of $1 or $1 out of $10, there's not a lot of money to invest. But the idea is, as these jars build up, you're going to talk to your children about putting their money to work for them. Now, if you instill this philosophy in your children as they're young, and you make it a habit that every dollar goes to their account, and again, as they grow up and they get into high school, they get into college, and they get on their own, they've got to live off 70%. And then the rest goes to the gifting, the saving, the investment. And you put that money to work for them. They put this money to work for them, and money starts to work for them. Eventually, they'll be financially free and financially independent. When something happens and the car breaks down or something goes wrong, you're going to have money in your savings account for that rainy day. And then you're going to have that gift, and you're going to experience the law of sowing and reaping, and you're going to feel good about giving and helping people, and you live off 70. Now, with children, you could even add another jar, and you can kind of break this up. And maybe 30% goes into what they can spend on their games or whatever, that kind of stuff. You can add different jars, but this is what I believe to be something that you as a parent should instill in your children. Start it young, give it to them early, teach them this philosophy that they've got to take every dollar that goes through their hands, 10, 10, 10, and use 70 to live off of. I think if you do this, you'll make a significant impact on your kids, your life, and their future. And I hope you do this. And I just want to say, I thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to me and my ranting and raving about financial literacy and how that can help with your kids. And I want you to do what I do. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude and tell somebody you love them.